So, let's see, it was raining a ton last night, and I was actually supposed to do a workshop today with Precision Camera here in Austin. It was about online on location lighting and stuff. We've done them in the past, but we were going to do this at a park downtown called Butler Park. It's a really beautiful place, but this morning I woke up and I guess since about midnight until about 3 a.m. it already rained like half an inch, and Lord only knows how much more it's been raining. So still recovering from your trip. Oh, that's right, Diana, you went to Savannah, Georgia, right? I saw one of the pictures on Instagram that you took from a paddle boat, one of those big steam boats or something like that. Is that right? That was a really gorgeous sunset photo, by the way. It's it's always nice to see like travel photos from you guys because it makes me realize that I need to travel more. But yeah, so I know, like I said before, we talk a lot about what's coming up in the class at Texas School, and of course, like I said, I'm more than happy to talk about anything that's going on with that because I want you guys to know what's coming up, but also just to kind of let you know what's going on in my life here and what's going on in your lives, and also just answering questions and stuff like that. So, Andy, 2 inches of rain in Fort Worth. Dear God, I better call my in-laws. They live up near Flower Mound, DFW airport area. Jeez, Diana, it was a riverboat dinner cruise. Well, that sounds like fun. Don't tell my wife because then she's going to want to go on one. Actually, we need a date night really bad. So yeah, it was going to be this workshop thing I was going to do today. It's basically we just have a model or two and I demonstrate, the different ways that I would do lighting and stuff on location. And the whole reason why, I prefer to do that kind of stuff is because that's one of the first things I learned when I went to my first workshop. And also, I feel like, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, but, using off-camera speed lights, just battery powered speed lights, like with Energizer lithium batteries and stuff, is a lot more manageable than trying to bring like big studio spotlights and all that other kind of stuff. Plus, having portable light modifiers, things like that, just makes it go a whole lot smoother. And the pictures turn out looking so much better than just always using a reflector, or especially just using on-camera flash. So I've been teaching that one off and on for a couple of years. The big one that I always teach at least twice, if not 3 times a year, is a big all-day wedding workshop here in Austin. And that one's a lot of fun too, but it is a huge commitment. I mean, it's like 6 hours in a day. In fact, I do have a special guest here, Abel. He drove all the way up here from Mission to come help me out, and he's working on a video project with me. So, Abel, you can say hi if you want.
Hey, guys.
So he's kind of sitting in the background and stuff, but he went to a couple of my workshops before, and he's doing a lot of video stuff as well. So he was going to help me on a couple projects with that. In fact, we did a video shoot here in the studio while I was doing an in-house lighting and outside lighting gig. We had a model and we just did all kinds of fun stuff. So keep an eye out for that. I will post that on the channel once that's been finished and all that stuff. I think it has a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and also going in more depth, kind of explaining, why I'm lighting something a certain way, that kind of thing. So, but yeah, so that's what's been going on. And I know was it the last video? Yeah, the last video I posted on YouTube. Let's see here. Let me just pull it up here. I'm like, if for those of you guys that have seen, been watching the Facebook live streams and stuff, that I have on occasion accidentally cut the live stream because I thought I was opening a new tab to check on it, and I accidentally closed the entire browser, and so we had to start over. But let's see. Yeah, well, what I was going to say was, I think, oh, look, there it is live now. I guess I should have taken a better picture. So yeah, the last video I did 2 weeks ago was about the fact that we're moving. And, I know in the video I kind of expressed that I was kind of depressed about the whole thing, and you know, just because we've lived here for so long, and I put a lot of time and effort, building this place where I work. But at the same time, my wife and I really wanted to do something that was best for the kids. And, because of where we live, we're not really close to a lot of their friends and stuff, but we did find a place that was perfect. And it's in the same school district, in the same school boundaries for the schools they already go to. Plus, they're going to be right around the corner, literally a few houses down from a lot of the people that they're already friends with. So we're extremely excited. And, and I know the nice thing about, I was talking to Abel earlier this morning. I said that, of course, my ego got in the way, and it was because it was, just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna come across as like a photographer who couldn't make it work, or I'm, failing, or whatever. But my wife kind of grabbed me by the ears, and she was like, your whole job is about adapting. So, if you can't make this work, then it wasn't meant to work. And so, AKA, she's like, you can make it work. Besides, we got bills to pay. So I've started feeling a lot better about it. And of course, again, one of the nice things about what we do for a living is, we are adaptable. It's something, I mean, it's, especially, well, pretty much with anything, whether it comes to taking pictures, or if it's, well, I mean, I don't know, if you're a wedding photographer getting thrown onto the scene, in the middle of, a battlefield, and having to photograph things and adapting to the situation. I mean, that kind of applies to a lot of aspects of our business, probably for pretty much any small business owner. So, okay, Jay says my audio is still choppy. This is still, of course, if I stutter, that doesn't help. Does it still sound that way? Or maybe I just need to get up really close to the mic. Does that sound better? Huh? just I gotta play around with you guys. But audio's fine, sounds fine. Okay. Sounds to me like it just depends on what device you might be watching on. I don't know. I mean, if you didn't hear me say it earlier, this is the first time I'm using this new streaming platform from YouTube. It's definitely a dumbed down version of streaming, instead of having to use an encoder and stuff, which I just kind of threw that out the window because I could never actually get it to work. But it's basically like a browser extension, which is really nice, but you can only do it with Chrome. So the one thing that I did like about OBS, Open Broadcast Software, is you could have multiple video sources and then overlay one on the other, kind of like picture in picture. So for example, like a lot of the videos, the tutorials, the retouching stuff that you've seen on my channel, it's that kind of software. But the problem is, like, when it comes to just recording it as a file and then uploading it later, it's fine. But when it comes to actually streaming directly from that software, I could never get it to figure. Everything looks great. I mean, I drive by it almost every morning. It's literally like 5 minutes around the corner from where I am right now. I had to go take the trash out to the curb, and actually I met my neighbor this morning because he was outside doing the same thing. So we got to introduce ourselves, and I will say it's going to be really nice being around, a bunch of other people too, because, where we're at right now, the houses are much, much further apart. And so it's been difficult, maintaining relationships with neighbors and stuff. So I am looking forward to it. It's going to be nice. And it's a great house too. It doesn't have anything that we don't need, and it's got all the stuff that we do need. Okay, Jay says everything's looking good now. I love you too, buddy. God, man. When was Jay, how long ago was it when we started doing those collages.net class meetings at my studio? I mean, that wasn't like, was that like 6, 7 years ago, maybe? I can't remember. But I remember it was just a long time ago. I think it was about 7 years ago. So long. Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. Like, so long ago, we can't remember. But I mean, I guess in a way, this is kind of like the same. In fact, I think for one of those meetings, one of the women that used to come to the meeting on a regular basis, because we would host them like once a month or something. She had moved to Florida, but we still wanted her to be able to, view, see what we were doing and interact and all that kind of stuff. So I had Jimmy rigged my Mac Pro with a laptop and a webcam and I think just an area microphone and stuff, so she could actually see and hear what we were doing, and then just kind of monitor. Maybe it was Skype. I can't remember, but basically we rigged it in such a way where she could actually watch and talk to us at the same time. Because I would always try to arrange having like a guest speaker come and talk about something specific like SEO or pricing or retouching or whatever. And so we didn't want her to have to miss out. So I look back at that kind of crazy stuff, like how we made stuff like that work. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't even know if I have the brain space to do stuff like that anymore. So, I'm watching my mic monitor thing down here on the bottom. I just want to barely reaching above 2. So let me just pull up my sound preferences here. Yeah, it's cranked up all the way, pretty much. Maybe I just need to get closer. Am I a musical genius? um, oh, because of the piano, the keyboard? No. Me and a bunch of my old friends from back, well, I grew up in a boys choir from like age 8 and was a singer all the way through middle school, high school. I actually went to SMU on a opera scholarship, back in the day, but I changed my mind halfway through and moved back to Austin and changed my major into photography, and that's what I graduated with. But anyways, so me and a bunch of friends from back when we were in boys choir together, we've been rehearsing every week for the past 3 months because 2 weeks ago was spring break, I think. Was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. Oh my God. So 2 weeks ago, we went up to New York to go perform at Carnegie Hall. So I hosted the rehearsals here. I can't play the piano for squat. So, but it's up here. It actually belongs to my son. It was a Christmas gift. So I kind of hijacked it and brought it up here, and I just haven't had a chance to put it back. So that's where a good concept album. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I do have a guitar. I'm better at playing that than I am at the piano, which is weird because usually when people want to learn a new instrument, piano is the way to go because of pedagogy and all that stuff. It's just much more visual when it comes to seeing how each note relates from one to another. But I think guitar just looks cooler. So, and you know what? I am going to move the Facebook tab over here just to see if anybody's commenting like, hey, where the hell's Dustin? He said he was going to be here. Okay. So far, so good, perhaps. I don't know. Plus, I think the other thing also is the whole Facebook debacle that's been going on. I mean, some of you guys may have seen some of my previous videos where I was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm getting rid of Facebook. But then a lot of the photographer communities are, in Facebook groups and stuff. It's kind of like the go-to. Plus, a lot of, your target market, if you're a photographer, is going to be on Facebook. A lot of moms, they love sharing their photos on there. Now, like if you do seniors, they're probably not even on Facebook. They're on Instagram, but or Snapchat. But it's the moms that are going to be posting their kids' photos that you've taken, and that's where the moms are. It's on Facebook. So Gary Clark Jr. Actually, that does sound familiar. Was he a singer-songwriter? Did some stuff for no, I'm thinking of T-Bone Pickens. No, is that the oil guy? It's a Wednesday. He's from Austin. Oh, okay. Yes. God, I haven't listened to KUT in forever. Okay, now I remember. Thank you. But let's see. No, and the funny thing too is actually a lot of my family is involved in music. In fact, my two cousins that are twins, John and Joe, they're redheads. They've had a band ever since they were 12, but now They both do like audio post-production and on-site audio production, recording studio stuff for a lot of the major players around town, like Patrice Pike and Alpha Rev and Guy Forsyth, people like that. So yeah, that's what they're doing, and they can still play. And I just pretend like can't play for crap because they're so much better at it than I am. Um, so yeah, I always feel like these live streams are just me rambling. Um, so if at any point you guys have questions, this is not a TV show where you just sit back, eat popcorn, and watch me make an idiot of myself. This is interactive. So, throw questions out there. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rambling until my throat's dry. So Diana knows me too well. She's like, yep, sit back for the ride because here he goes. And I apologize. Sorry, I forgot to turn off my alarm. Yeah, no, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, so I had posted a couple days ago that I was sick, and I basically went to the doctor, and my wife has had a lot of sinus infections. I think I've had one other one in my life. So she was like, "You've got a sinus infection." And I said, "Well, are you sure?" She's like, "Yeah. Yeah, just tell me what you feel like is wrong, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is." So I did. She's like, "Yeah, that's what you got." So I made an appointment, went to the doctor, and they didn't know. They had no idea what it was. They're like, "Well, do you have a temperature?" No. "So what's bothering you?" I'm like, "Nose, congestion, just, general headache, a lot of sinus pressure." And they're like, "Well, you don't have a fever. So maybe, I don't know, it could be a virus, but it might be, sinus infection. Here, we're going to write you for a Z-Pack." I'm like, why did I even come over here? I could have just called it in, and you guys could have just written me a, antibiotics prescription over the phone, and I could go pick it up. But anyways, otherwise they don't get paid by the insurance companies. So yeah, I am, it's really stuffy right now. So if I sound like I've got a whole box of Kleenex up there, that's what's going on. So Diana says, "What am I working on?" You mean with the keyboard? Nothing. Like we already performed, so we're not. I don't really need it. I need to go give it back to my son. The other stuff. Are you asking like what I'm doing on the computer right now? Talking to you guys earlier, I was doing a mad dash for getting a whole bunch of stuff done for clients before I had to come and before I was going to come and hang out with you guys. Which, as I've said before, I would much rather do than being stuck doing emails and editing and all that other stuff, which, again, I wanted to thank you guys for being here and entertaining me while I try to entertain you guys, because otherwise I'd be stuck here alone, except with the fact that Abel's here. So he's keeping me from going crazy. People oh man. But yeah, it's photo related. Okay. So let's see. Well, we had plans to do the workshop today down at Butler Park, but it got rained out. It's too muddy. Photo wise, it's wedding season. I've got one coming up next weekend. This weekend is Easter, so I almost forgot about that. We're also going to try and move a lot of stuff into our new house then. Other projects, a lot of it's just been getting ready for Texas school. So, it's, for those of you guys that don't know, it's like this big thing in Dallas area. It's about a week long. All these different photographers, instructors, and stuff come together, and they teach, various different workshops for the entire week. And so I'm going to be the one that's teaching about wedding photography. So I was kind of thinking, okay, well, I've never taught at Texas school before. I've been, but I've never taught there. So maybe I'll just use the same format that I've used for my wedding workshops that I've done here in Austin, despite the fact that that one is only in one day and this one's like 5 days. So I was like, well, maybe if I just stretch it out, or if I talk really slowly, that'll fill up an entire week. But fortunately, the actual class part in the classroom is only about maybe 3 to 4 hours a day, which I can definitely talk enough to do that. But also, the other half of the day is going to be shooting and stuff, which is always fun. And there's a lot of social stuff too. So, but I've been like collaborating with Nikon and also Enview just to make sure, because they're going to be involved a little bit, just making sure that all of our bases are covered. Oh, that was weird. Abel's watching me from his phone, and now I'm getting like double echo feedback. So, um, let's see, Diana. I wish I was going to Texas school this year. Yeah, I mean, it is a lot of fun. In fact, I don't know why I didn't think about this, but apparently over the years it's become one of the biggest like photography, education events in the country. I mean, there's WPPI, there's Imaging USA, and there's probably a few other you know workshop slash event stuff that go on across the country. But I mean, this one's been around for years and years, like decades. And over the years, it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, the last time I went, it was still at Texas A&M, and now I mean, years ago they outgrew that space, and so now they're at this really nice big hotel up in the Dallas area. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, I wish you could be there. I love going to this kind of stuff because then I get a chance to actually see photographers, people that I've made friends with that I haven't seen in a long time because I met them at a convention or a workshop or something. So it is a lot of fun, and they do pack in a lot of social aspects as well. So, um, hey, do I know Steve Kozak from Texas Photo School? That name rings a bell too. Let's see. Since I got Facebook in front of me here, I'll just take a look. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. Well, we are not friends on Facebook, but let me just take a look at his picture. I'm just gonna. He does look familiar. He looks really familiar. He's in Grand Prairie. Okay, so he's right around the corner from where the actual Texas school is going to be. Let me take a look at his website, stevekozak.com. I probably shouldn't be bringing up all of his personal information on here, but I'll add him as a friend. There we go. But I do know if he's an instructor. Let's see. Please don't. Well, that's not it. There it is. I always forget it's .org, not .com. And please, dear God, don't blast my ears with this video thing. Did they change it? Oh, good. They just turned it off of autoplay. Let's see here. Because the last time I went to texasschool.org's website and was pulling up information about the class and stuff, they had like this autoplay video and my volume was all the way up. And like I had to go put on a new pair of shorts because it scared me so bad. Let's see here. Where are you? Is he an instructor? Let's see. They're all listed alphabetically by last name. Yeah, okay. The secrets to success when turning pro. So that's pretty cool. That's a very, very needed class. I should have taken that class. Yeah, because I mean, when I got started, I was like, okay, I bought my camera, I've got my gear. Let's start making some money. And didn't know anything about QuickBooks, didn't know anything about marketing or any of that stuff. Just thought, I'm going to flip a switch. Boom, people are going to walk in the door. Why didn't anybody tell me it doesn't work that way? Oops, sorry. Let's see. Oh, okay. So he married your aunt. So is he a licensed officiant, I guess is the correct term? My dad got licensed a while back because one of his good friends from back when they used to work together, his daughter was getting married up in New Hampshire, and I was photographing the wedding. And so my dad's friend asked my dad, "Hey, would you be the officiant?" So my dad got himself licensed, and he got a kick out of it. It was a lot of fun. Like our whole family got involved. It was a great time. Plus, it was Jay Clements. He's executive director of TPPA. There we go. Oh, he got married to your aunt. He didn't marry your aunt. Oh, wait, did I get that right? He married your aunt? Like they're married, husband and wife married, like to each other. Okay. Okay. Jesus, man, I am all over the place today. Ah, another alarm keeps telling me to check my water meter. Sorry, I don't know about you guys that might be in the Austin area, but city of Austin has been screwing everybody on their water bills recently. So I've been regularly checking our water meter every day, taking pictures of it. So in case they try to, bill us for more than what we're using, I've got evidence. So, um, yeah. It's it takes me a while sometimes to get caught up to what's going down. So do. Oh, Diana, yeah. I mean, for those of you guys in Austin, you've heard about this, right? I mean, it's it's ridiculous, like how much money they're just taking from people, and a lot more people have been speaking up about it. Some people, get these huge water bills, and the meters aren't being read correctly because City of Austin subcontracts other companies to go out and read the meters. And so, but that's not to say that it's not City of Austin's fault. They may be the ones that are kind of fudging the numbers, whereas the subcontractor may be reading them accurately. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people, some people have only been swindled out of like an extra $30 a month. Other people, it's like hundreds of dollars. And City of Austin is, well, let me put it this way. The new house that we bought, we called them because they're in charge of water and trash for that house. And so we also assumed that it was probably electricity as well. So we called them up to set up an account with, to transfer our account. No, to set one up because all of our water, trash, and electricity where we are right now is different. So like, yeah, okay, good. Well, you want it to start on Monday, we'll start it on Monday. So Monday I go over, trash was picked up. The water was on, but there was no electricity. So I was like, okay, well, maybe, it'll be on tomorrow. I'll go back. No, it's not on. Then I find out from the original owner that it's not City of Austin, it's somebody else. And so, yeah, it's so I called the other company and they're like, yeah, we're the ones that provide electricity to that house, that address. So then I got it turned on. I'm like, it would be just like City of Austin to actually try to bill us for electricity on a house they don't actually provide electricity for. So I've been watching the bill. Um, so yeah, it's anyways, that's a whole lot of fun. So photography wise, because I don't want this to just be an interactive vlog. So have you guys, I know I posted a link about this about a month ago. Have you guys heard about the in the works mirrorless full frame Nikon camera that may be announced in the fall? Like for years, everybody's been talking about they're just going mirrorless. Like they're dropping Nikon, they're dropping Canon, they're switching to Sony or Fuji or whatever. And trust me, I mean, I've got a little Lumix that I use sometimes for shooting video that, I can't use it as a webcam, but when I'm shooting other video and stuff, I'll use that, or I'll take it to like my kid's baseball game and stuff because it's really small. Plus, it's easy for my wife to use and stuff like that, and my kids. But I mean, it's just it's a mirrorless camera. It does take decent pictures, but yeah, for a long time, companies like I mean, Canon kind of tinkered with it, doing mirrorless, more like pro level mirrorless, but they were still putting too much into like, I don't know. It just didn't make sense. And it was, a little bit like that, I think, for other manufacturers as well. Whereas like Sony was really kind of, barreling along in the mirrorless department. But yeah, on nikonrumors.com and I think a few others like DP Review and stuff, some schematics or some patents had been leaked about, I think it was something about like the focal length from the back of the, lens to the sensor was much, much smaller than what any SLR would actually allow for. So they're like, oh, and it was a full frame dimension on it, on the sensor itself. So they're like, oh my gosh, was Nikon actually going to roll out this new thing? So, so yeah, it's kind of a big thing, and I'm really excited because for a long time I felt really torn about, using another, switching, or not even switching really, because I'd never really get rid of all my Nikon stuff, but just having to grow, more lenses or flashes or stuff for a completely different brand. Now, I will say this, from what I understand, the new, if this is actually what's coming out, the it'll be a new lens mount system, and I think Z mount, I think is what they're calling it, which makes sense because if you put an SLR lens on a mirrorless body, it wouldn't work. In fact, I think if you tried to focus it to infinity, the back of the lens would actually smash right into the sensor. But physics, folks, I don't understand it. It's like sorcery. um, but if that's the case, that would be really awesome, because like all the things that I've come to love about Nikon and stuff in the form of a mirrorless camera would do wonders for my back, because SLRs are just getting too heavy for me. Kids will do that to you. I'm just kidding. Um, but so anybody out there right now using mirrorless? I think I remember some of you guys saying that you were using Sony and stuff. Abel, you use mirrorless, right? Pretty much, is that primarily now what you use? The Sony and
Yeah. I mean,
all right, Abel's gonna get his gear out. We're gonna take a look.
all right, kids.
Here he comes. He's like, okay, now I've watched Dustin be an idiot in front of the camera. This can't be that hard. No, I'm not making fun of your camera bag. Are you kidding me? I don't know. Whenever I see like other people's bags, I get bag envy. But then again, I'm like, well, I got a Pelican for a reason, and it's the kind that fits in the overhead bin. But that was back when I was going to Maui. I kind of had to have one. Okay, so we got a Canon
5D Mark III.
5D Mark III.
Been chewed up, beat up.
Hey, you know what? That we call those like war wounds or something like that. So nice.
That was my go-to for about 4 years, and then last summer we picked this guy up, and that's an older model, the Sony A7R2.
Mm-hmm.
But it's quicker. I love it on low light. The lenses are more expensive, but they've also been good to me. I haven't had any trouble, and it shoots a good video. We actually use that as my primary video camera nowadays. That screen itself has been the best thing, at least for me.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm sure some of you guys have seen it in just browsing online and stuff. But I mean, so is this really good for like hip holding kind of stuff, or just waist level?
Waist level, or especially like at an event, and you just want to get something wide. I have a Metabones adapter. We can put some of my old Sony glass, Canon glass on it, and it does well, even for autofocus. And you can shoot from the hip pretty fast.
Oh, okay. Now I was like, okay, well, that would be fine. That's really cool if you could like shoot from the waist. But then I was like, well, what if you want to hold it up? And I'm like, oh yeah, duh, Dustin. So that is pretty sweet. I like that. And yeah, the lens is so much heavier than the body.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I mean, in comparison to like my hand here, I mean, the body itself is much thinner than, say, let me hand that back to you first. Than something like the Canon or the Nikon. I mean, it's a heck of a lot thinner. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but and is it an EVF or is it a pentaprism?
You're asking the wrong person.
Okay, so up in here, the viewfinder, is it electronic?
Yeah, it's electronic.
Okay, so yeah, then you don't have the bulk all up here in the front too.
What you see is what you get.
Okay.
For light and everything else.
Oh, geez. I thought I told it to stop. Yes, that is Game of Thrones version, Legend of Zelda style. So I'm going to hand this back to you because this makes me nervous. So yeah, I mean, you guys saw relatively, it's a heck of a lot lighter. The Sony lens, was that like a 24-70 equivalent?
This is a 24-70. It's actually the real deal on this one. It's they're G Master lenses.
Okay.
So I've shot the newer version on Canon, but this one is, like I said, it served me well. It's heavy. The sucker is full of glass, and but I mean, it was worth the investment. I think we spent about 24 to 2,800 on it.
Yeah.
Just the lens alone. But
wow. But see, that's the other thing too that I found. So like the Lumix that I was talking about earlier, you know, it's the G7 G7 4K or something. Like it's small. It's in that bag over there, but I mean it's more of like a prosumer. You know, I didn't really have the intention of using it for professional work, but for that one, if you want image stabilization, you have to get an image stabilized compatible lens because they work in conjunction with each other. It still has image stabilization, electronic stabilization built in, but it only works if you have a compatible lens. But the lens doesn't have like the motor stuff. I don't know. I think it's just an upselling thing. But for something like this, it's image stabilization no matter what.
I think it's a 5-axis and everything's inside of it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't take off running with it. It's not going to be that smooth. But it'll save you from having to break out the monopod. And if you're stuck in something, you know, so I shoot both video and stills usually when I'm on the job.
Okay.
And I'll switch to a video. So when we deliver the end product to a client, I usually shoot senior portraits and just headshots. It's easier for me to deliver it and also add video, just a little bit added value.
Nice. Yeah. So, I mean, I've thought about this before. It's like, man, you know, having the body do the image stabilization instead of the lens, that means you can use any lens for, you know, image stabilization. Let's see. Sony A7 RM2 is full frame. Okay. Which one is that one?
This is full frame.
Full frame. Okay. Yeah. It's, I feel bad because a lot of like, you know, just things like I'm tired of spending a whole bunch of extra money to get an image stabilized version of a lens, you know, or okay, with the digital stuff, why do we still have to have you know, a image stabilized lens when it's a digital body? But I think Sony was the first one that said, you know what, we're just going to do image stabilization in the body and you can throw on whatever lens you want. And I got to say, that was a pretty smart move. But either way, I also just, I don't know about you, but I like the prospect of just checking out new stuff anyways.
Well, I was at a conference here in Austin when I first saw the Sony reps were trying to show us the A9 or whatever it was, A7.
Okay.
I forgot what the model was. And I was skeptical, like, yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna switch. Canon's my main camera. We shot it in news. I've had Canon for 28 years now. And but to actually stop and, you know, do a 180 and go a different direction, it's adaptable. I like it. I know I made some Sony people angry and I said, no, the menus are too deep.
Yeah.
But I'm used to being able to change stuff on the fly. But, you know, you have pluses and minuses like in any system. But
sorry, I'm just checking on time. I have a client appointment coming over for a photo review at 1:30. So but anyways, no, I think it's really cool because I've always said, you know, it's just better that there's so many different brands and competition, you know, kind of stuff, because they're always trying to outmatch each other. I do feel like it is time for, you know, the top two manufacturers to kind of up their game, because, you know, companies like Sony and Fuji, and, you know, they kind of went around, they took the high road, and the other major players have had to try and play catch up. But yeah, so thank you for showing that to us. I appreciate it. I know you were using it yesterday and I saw it and I was like, oh damn, that looks cool, but you know, I don't want to touch it. So yeah. I'm actually getting to that point where I kind of have to sign off and stuff. But does anybody have like any questions before we go? Anything? Abel, do you have any questions?
Where do babies come from?
Where do babies just...
No, I don't get invited back to that place.
We'll answer that question after these messages. No, I'm kidding. Well, okay. Well, all right. Well, I think that's going to end it for today. I'm going to try and figure out a way to where I can at least get the word out onto Facebook in the groups and stuff. you know, when the stream goes live. I think it's still kind of in, you know, early mode for this, you know, browser live streaming thing. I mean, it's only been out for about 2 weeks. So it would be nice if there was a share button where I could share it. Wait, what the hell is this? It's a share button. Oh my God. Okay. Well, and you can embed it too. Okay. My bad. All right. Well, I'll know that for next time. It's a learning process. So, you too, Jay, Diana, Andy, everybody that came by to watch today. I really appreciate it. I miss a lot of you guys I haven't seen in a long time, but yeah, we've been doing this video weekly thing for, I don't know, probably about 6 weeks now or so. And I think I'm just going to start making it a regular part of, you know, my week because I really enjoy it. So, all right, you guys, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.